What's up, everybody? How's it going? Angel from Double MMA here, and today we're gonna talk about all the future fights that I want to see done after UFC 308. If you guys are new around here, be sure to subscribe. We're getting pretty good on subs. We're almost to 1,000. If you guys want to help me out reaching that, appreciate it greatly. A like would be very much appreciated too. Enough said. Let's get started. So, featured fight: Alexander Rakic versus Magomedov Ankalaev. It wasn't the most entertaining of fights. Magomed Ankalaev won. Had to do what he had to do. He'll be next for the title. But as for who I want to see Rakic fight, I want to see him fight Khalil Roundtree. Khalil Roundtree, obviously, he had that amazing war with Alex Pereira back a couple weeks ago. Actually, it was not that long ago. It was maybe like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. Incredible fight. He was having a lot of success in the early rounds before ultimately getting finished in the fourth. And I think Dana White's a big fan of him at this moment. A lot of the fans are a big fan of his, and I think he deserves to fight up the rankings after that fight. And then we have Alexander Rakic. He had two big opportunities to fight with opponents who were ranked number 1 and number 2. Kind of shit the bed in both of them. Womp womp, little bro type. And for me personally, I think he has to fight down and prove that he's still of that high level. And I think because of that, this is a match made in heaven, and I like to see it maybe early next year. As for who I think will win, shoot, man, I don't like how Rakic has been looking lately. I think Khalil can take it. His explosiveness and Muay Thai is really, really amazing. And as of this moment, I think he got it. And then obviously Magomedov Ankalaev, he has to fight Alex. There's no other way to put it, man. Probably should have fought him like, let me think, as soon as like UFC 300, maybe. But they went other routes. I think probably because Magomedov Ankalaev wanted to fight in Abu Dhabi, and Alex is not gonna wait all the way down there or go to his terms, and good for him for not doing that. But after all the dust is settled, most of the division is kind of cleared out. There's no other fight to make. It's gonna be the toughest fight for Alex stylistically, but I still see him winning. I didn't like the way that Magomedov Ankalaev was like checking the leg kicks. Left a lot to be desired. I think Alex is gonna have a field day, and even striking, I think Alex is leagues above. The big question mark comes in the grappling, but hopefully Alex is smart enough to work on that, and I think he will. If he's an underdog, I'd throw some money on it. But yeah, I want to see this fight next. Then we come to the co-main event. We have Hamza Shay versus Robert Whittaker. Sensational performance. There's nothing really you can say besides wow. Hamza goes out there, shoots right away, dominates Rob, and then he gets him in a rear naked choke. Not even under the chin, under the neck, on the neck or whatever. He gets him on the jaw and breaks his jaw with so much pressure that Robert taps immediately. I remember when I watched out, I just was awestruck. Give this. All right, but first let's talk about Hamza. Robert. All right, hear me out. Don't get me wrong. I think a big part of this comes from me not liking Roman Dolidze. He's pretty lame. I'm just a big hater. I want to see him lose. I think Robert can be that guy to make him lose. But also Robert, yeah, he's been fighting down the rankings all year, but this last fight had big title implications, and now he's out of the title picture for sure, at least for the next year. Could he have another run? 100%, but he has to fight some guys down the rankings again. And I think this is a pretty good guy. He's been going on a little bit of a tear lately, and why not, man? Just a random little fight to get Robert back in the swing of things, and that he can win, and we don't have to hear about Roman Dolidze ever again. As far as for Khamzat Chimaev, without a doubt, he has to fight for the championship. I think he should fight before Sean Strickland for the belt, but from the looks of things, that fight's being materialized, probably be announced pretty soon. But then maybe like summertime or something like that, we can see Chimaev versus DDP. And honestly, after that performance against Robert Whittaker, I don't see a single fighter beating Khamzat. This guy's insanely good. He was talking all fight week about being the best wrestler in the UFC, and without a doubt, I don't know who's better than him, dude. It's insane. I think DDP still has a puncher's chance. But you know, like DDP's sloppiness has done him wonders, you know, making him win fights. But you know, eventually all that's gonna catch up to you, and maybe Hamza's the one to stop the DDP hype train. Well, I guess not hype train, but you know, him winning all these fights and being the champ. And I wouldn't put it past him. For all my gamblers out there, you know, if you wanted to bet on who could be the champion by the end of 2025, Hamzat's easy money in my opinion. And yeah, let's see him win that title. Then we reach the main event. Ilia does what he says he's gonna do. He says he's gonna be the first one to knock out Max Holloway, and he did it. Sensational, dude. He's the GOAT, man. I don't know, man. He should be pound for pound number 2. The only person I put him underneath in the UFC is Islam, just because Islam is bigger. And that sets up a fight down the future for both of them to fight each other to see who's number 1. But I think he might even be better than Islam, dude. And like, you know, you people always say, and like, bro, like, look at what he's doing. He's finishing guys who've never been finished. He's knocking people out, giving them L's in a division they never lost in. And he hasn't even used half of the arsenal he has yet. He's an amazing grappler, and he doesn't like use that because he doesn't have to. If like he's like almost like maxed out stat wise, it's incredible. Yeah, he's not perfect, but what he does incredibly well. But let's talk about Max. Sad days, he got knocked out. I'm not the biggest Max fan, so I'm not as devastated. You know, I'm more happy that Ilia won because I'm a more of an Ilia fan. But you know, it still sucks to see bro lose. I think for his next fight, he should move to 155. He was saying that he was gonna do that in the press conference. And I think there's no better fight for him than the loser of Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. Whoever loses, because lightweight is like kind of bogged down at the moment, where like the only real contender they have is Armin, but after that, there's no real clear ones. So these guys are gonna fight right here. The winner of Charles and Michael are gonna fight for the title. And that to me leads to a perfect segue where, you know, if Charles loses, heaven forbid, it's a perfect rematch. You know, the first fight was kind of lame. They can rematch in lightweight all these years later, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. And if Michael loses, which is more probable, it's gonna be a fun fight, and I see Max like winning it. Chandler's old as hell. I don't think he has that much left in him, and maybe this could be his last fight or something. And then that fight can propel Max into like a high spot in the top 5, and then one more fight after that, and I could see him fighting for the belt too. Maybe even after that, you know, you never know with the lightweight division. But yeah, I like to see this for Max next. I think it'll be either of these matchups will be a lot of fun. Then for Ilia Topuria, I want to see him fight Diego Lopez. Sadly, I think we're gonna get the Volk matchup first, and I think the public consensus is that no one wants to see that fight because, you know, he already got knocked out, and like, if this guy can knock out a guy who's never been knocked out, a guy who's known for his like circling the octagon and, you know, having amazing footwork and negating damage, and he knocks him out, no one is safe, man. And I think, you know, we already see that he's gonna knock out Volk in the next fight. Like, I don't see what Volk can do different. What can he do better? You know, I think Max had the best style to beat Ilia, but you know, we saw how that went. So yeah, you know, in a perfect world, maybe Volk will just, you know, fight someone else or something, and then we can see, you know, Diego Lopez take a shot at the belt. You know, he earned it rightfully. Fight number 3, not knocked him out, but basically dominated him the whole fight. And like, dude, when was the last time we've seen a title fight without either Max or Volk, dude? This is the first one in years. And me personally, I'm here for it. I think these guys are some of the most exciting fighters, not even just in the flyweight, but in the UFC in general. And this fight will be fireworks. MMA Guru said it best, where like these guys are like both like Spanish-speaking guys. It'll be a lot of fun to see them talking smack to each other. Even though Diego Lopez, I don't believe has ever said smack about anybody. Respectful guy for sure. But you know, as far as I see how the fight going, you know, like I said, I can't see anybody beating Ilia. He's like one of you know, if not the best fighter in the UFC at the moment. And yeah, I don't, but I think the best thing about him is that not only is he the best, but he's putting on some of these amazing fights, like star-making performances. Sky's the limit for this guy, and I can't wait to see what he does next. But yeah, these are some matchups I want to see after UFC 308. If you guys are new around here, be sure to subscribe. We're only getting started, and I'm gonna try making more and more videos. You know, I'm a super busy guy. My life is incredibly complicated with work, school, YouTube, trying to learn jiu-jitsu and all this sort of stuff. But you know, all hard work gets paid off. So I'm gonna keep trying. You guys are gonna see me a lot more. But in the meantime, this has been Angel from Double MMA. Peace.